Well then, sorry about that vinyl monkey here. I'm going to have to rush through this. Would you believe it, I've just made this video and then but my camera ran out of time, so I had too many albums here. Anyway, crack on. Welcome. This is one of them vinyl tag things set by Jack the Vinyl Voyage. It's all about cover art. It's not just all about the music, Norman, apparently. No, it's not vinyl collecting. It's all about these beautiful covers, and coming in there was Matt Berry, Kill the Wolf, superb album, proggy, folky. Anyway, Jack said 13 questions. I'm going to crack straight at them so I don't run out of time this time. First of all, pick a band artist looking cool on the cover. Well, that is the prerequisite, isn't it? If you're going to be on your own cover, you've got to look bloody cool. Now, there are very few that aren't. Maybe it would have been a better question to look for ones that aren't very cool, because most are, but Matt Berry looks cool there. I mean, the trick there was, this guy's a comedian. He's not really known for his rock and roll stuff, but that's a great photo, isn't it? You know, in the countryside there. It sort of sums up the feel of the album. And although he's carrying a pound or two, he's got a little bit of timber on him. He looks good, he looks cool. But I'm going for the jazz men, really. I mean, some of them. I mean, Thelonious Monk. You know, all of these albums are cool. And look at them. Somebody's just come in there, so sorry about that if that interrupted. But Out of Focus, that's Monk's Dream. That's Lilia's on Dangerous. Superb. Thelonious Monk, looking cool. Question 2. Your weirdest or trippiest or most controversial album? Well, the obvious one, most controversial, Blind Faith. This was banned in the USA as far as I know. Unsurprisingly, a young girl stopped on the tube train and asked if she'd be interested in being on an album cover. Never get away with it these days, but controversial album cover, Blind Faith. The second one I'm going for, trippiest, is this one. This is Plight and Premonition by David Sylvian and Holger Kozuke. This one gives me, I mean, this is an ambient album. This was one that Sylvian and Kozuke put together informally, really. I don't think they intended it to be an album. They were mucking about with found sounds and picking up any instruments and putting on various loops and whatever. But they created a beautiful, ambient, ghostly album, and they've created a perfect cover to match it. I mean, I don't know whether you can really see it there, but it's a log, it's in a undergrowth, and there's a bit of fabric on there, but it really is spooky, ghostly, trippy. Sexiest album cover. Well, as a kid, I was right into Free, still am, but Free's second album, Free, there we are. I found that really sexy at the time as an 11 or 12-year-old, 13-year-old, whatever I was. And Inside, I don't know whether that's the same person, but yeah, at the time I found that a real turn on. But the other one I was going to show was just Isaac Hayes. Look at that. Go on, Isaac. And if you're in any doubt as to how sexy Isaac Hayes is there, just turn this album cover over. There you me. I want some chains like that. Go on, Isaac. Yeah. Next question, an album cover you dislike and why? Well, I dislike all lazy album covers. I'd call them lazy album covers, where they just really haven't, whoever's been delegated with the job, either the artist themselves or their company, their staff probably, they've just gone cheap and easy and throwaway stuff, and it can spoil a great album. I mean, this doesn't spoil it for me. It's a good album, Blueprint by Rory Gallagher, but look at that, it's just crap in it. No thought whatsoever gone into that. Yeah, it's just, poor. And there's no need for it. But one I really dislike, and this will be a bit divisive I suppose, is Zeppelin's fifth album, Houses of the Holy. This was shot on the Giant's Causeway, again two very, very young child models naked. There were only two models, but he superimposed the pictures. Meant to be based on a sci-fi novel by Arthur C. Clarke, but I don't know. I haven't read that particular novel, so I'm not sure whether it reflects that or not. This is a good album. It's well, it's in Zeppelin's top 5 for me, but I think the cover really does spoil it. I've always disliked this cover. I just think it's naff. I don't like the colours. I think it's a bit creepy. The whole thing, yeah, it just, for me, poor. Don't like it. Show a cover which shows something from the animal world. Well, Alice Cooper's Killer, what an album. Love that album. The Snake. And also Nick Cave's Ghosting, which is a sort of, I think it's horses, lambs, lions, butterflies, colourful sort of parakeets and all sorts in that picture on there. This is the album, or one of the albums that followed the tragic death of his son. And I don't know, I read that as trying to show some sort of heavenly paradise type scene. And yeah, very poignant. So yeah, great cover, Ghosting, Nick Cave. Next question. Show an album cover with an interesting backstory. Well, yeah, this one, Electric Ladyland, this could have ticked a few boxes on these different questions, but yeah, the Electric Ladyland, Hendrix's third and final studio album. I think the story is that whoever was responsible for this was running out of time, possibly money, I don't know. They were in New York, had to get a cover sorted, and they went to some strip club next door, down below, the offices, and asked these ladies to combine together for this photograph, and paid them some sort of paltry sum. I can't remember, it was $10, $20, whatever it was, paltry sum, to produce this. And I think this is, you know, is it misogyny? Is it exploitation? Is it art? You know, does it cross the borders of all three of those? I don't know. But in any event, it was changed. I think it was banned in some places. It was changed. On both sides of the pond, but inside, fantastic. That's one of my favourite photos ever of Hendrix. The two of the band, Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell below, fantastic inside. Electric Ladyland, yeah. An album cover with an interesting design. Well, there's loads of them in there. What's that there? The one I've picked, I mean, I could have picked Stand Up, Jethro Tull, I could have picked any of the sort of cartoony, boogie, newspapery ones, but I've picked this one. Love this album, 4 from 8, The Real Thing. It's got a sort of cut-out situation there. You can see that opens up and cuts out. So in there you've got the cathedral, Liverpool Cathedral, and on the front, in front of the cathedral are the streets of Toxteth, up a Stanhope Street, sort of corner pubs and houses and community and what have you. But if you open that, it's derelict and demolished. And I think this is sort of reflects the sort of politics of this album. Community feeling total lack of control over the destiny of their own area and the so-called regeneration of their own area. But brilliant stuff, brilliant cover. The Real Thing, 4 from 8. Next question. Show a cover which instigated a blind purchase. Well, this one did. I was in a car boot sale flicking through and I seen this cover. This was quite some time ago and I thought, bloody hell, what a cover. And then I seen that Billy Paul. I thought, that can't be the same Billy Paul that did that sort of cheesy Me and Mrs Jones single, is it? And of course I opened up and it sure was, there he is, look at that. Talk about looking cool. And I thought, well, I must give this a go. And what a fantastic LP. It's a proggy cover certainly, and it's a proggy soul album. Absolutely superb, and it led me to buy many of Billy Paul's other albums, which, whilst this one is probably my number one Billy Paul album, there's great stuff on all of his others as well. What a great artist. Yeah, Billy Paul, War of the Gods, a brilliant blind purchase. An album with me most wear and tear, well, I've gone for Thick as a Brick. I'm not even going to really pull it very far out of here because everyone knows what this is like. It's a 12-page newspaper with lots of articles in it. And when I got this as a kid, I read the print off. I could have recited nearly every article in this newspaper by memory. I became infatuated with the young girl on the front, and as a result, when you pick this out and open it up, all the edges where it's folded, because it opens up into a sort of broadsheet newspaper, and where it's folded they're all hanging by a thread, literally. So I won't open it up, but brilliant cover, Thick as a Brick, Jeff Rotel. Favourite inner gatefold? I've gone for this one for a different reason really. This is Prefab Sprout, I Troll the Megahertz. It's Paddy McAloon released this originally just on CD, but then he re-released it on vinyl and credited it. Originally it was under his own name, but he credited it to the band Prefab Sprout. And this album was a result of his period of poor health. He had problems with his eyes, and it meant he was confined to home, and listened to a lot of chat shows, radio talkings and all the rest of it, and this sort of reflects some of that and has the atmosphere of that. It's superb. But the reason I picked it for this category is that inside it's not just great design, which is lovely. I think the design is superb, but it's this essay, and I'm a sucker for some good writing, and when you can combine brilliant music and brilliant writing, particularly as this essay is by Paddy McAloon himself, it's superbly written. It gives an insight into the background of the album, and it's just win-win for me. Absolutely brilliant album and a brilliant cover. So Prefab Sprout, I Troll the Megahertz. Your favourite cover art? Actually, I'm just putting my Prefab Sprout away. I mean, look at that, they're the sleeves. I mean, absolutely superb picture of Paddy McAloon there. Where was I? Yeah, your favourite cover art? Well, I have various types of favourites really. I love cover art where the artists themselves produce their own cover art, whether that's through their own photography or painting or drawing or whatever, or design. And the one I've picked, I could have picked Bob Dylan, I could have picked Captain Beefheart or others, but I've picked Michael Hurley, brilliant folk singer, started back in the 60s, Greenwich Village and all of that. Loads of albums, died sadly recent, last year or two I think. I picked this album, Ancestral Swamp, great album. And you can see the painting, I don't need to talk you through that on the front. You can see the drawings and paintings on the back, superb. And even on the record label, he's painted those. And on the sleeve itself, a cartoon. Just great stuff. So anybody who invests their skill and into doing that, you've got another insight into their art. I love all of that stuff. The other I love is simplicity. I love simplicity in cover art. This is one of my favourite rock albums. This is taste. It's just so simple. It's just good colours, good photograph, simple information. Great. One of my favourite rock covers of all time. And then lastly, I want to talk about Blue Note. I just love the Blue Note jazz covers. Sorry, I'm getting all muddled up here. Where are they? For example, the Freddie Red Quintet, where you've got great design, simple bold colours, and then you've got all this information on the back, you know, the history of the album, a bit about the musicians who were playing on the album, and then a bit about each song. I mean, some of it, given that it's jazz, is a bit technically musical for my level of understanding, but I love it nonetheless. Sunny Red, love that one as well. Great stuff. He's another one where I've got Larry Young, the organist, his album Unity. Yeah, just simple stuff. Great design. Info on the back. Love it. I could sit and flick through that Blue Note album book. There's a book full of that album covers. Absolutely fantastic. We're nearly there. If you were going to live in an album cover, which would it be? Well, what have I got here? I forgot what I picked here. Oh yeah, I would like to get off this planet, just briefly, just to have a look at this little planet Earth and appreciate our irrelevance in the cosmos. And therefore I've picked John Keating's Space Experience, superb album. I like to be out there in the space station. What else have I got here? Hang on. Oh dear me. Oh yeah, this is a nightmare. Sometimes I do have this nightmare. This is Jojo Gunn's Jumping the Gun, and you can see the band members of Jojo Gunn in the bed there, all in bed together. And I have had the nightmare where I'm in bed there with them, and floating above. Yeah, I mean, talk about misogyny or whatever. A terrible album cover, really, but a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, occasionally I've been in there. And then lastly, yeah, if I was going to be in an album cover, I'd want to be living in the Big Pink. And the Big Pink, of course, was the house that the band rented with Bob Dylan, where they produced the Basement tapes, where Van Morrison lived next door. So I could pop next door and say, coming over for a pint, Van. Yeah, brilliant. So if I wanted to live with a band in their album cover, that would be it. And that one's been painted by Bob Dylan. It's much derided actually, but I do like Bob Dylan's painting, and I do love that album and its cover. And we're going to go out. Oh no, we're not. There's one more question. If your channel was going to produce its own cover art, what would it be? Well, I wouldn't have a problem here, because our kid, my youngest, my baby brother, he's a bit of a photographer. I was going to say amateur photographer, but he has exhibited and sold lately, so not an amateur, no. And he specialises in post-industrial landscapes, which I'm sure he could sort something out for me. But I might, for me debut album, I might go with something just looking cool or something like that, and I hope that comes across. Can you see that? Get a bit of that. That might be my debut album cover, I don't know. Maybe those Isaac Hayes Chains type situations on. So that's it. Thanks again to Jack for putting this vinyl tag together. I hope I caught all this on camera. Catch you. Oh, well, we're going to go out. If there's any time, we're going to go out with... hang on a second, we're going to go out with... where is it? The last track off the band's music from Big Pink, Bob Dylan's I Shall Be Released.
They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is not near. So I remember every phase of every man who put me here. I see my light come shining.
See ya.